All right, welcome back. We continue talking about the Steelers and their loss at home after a nice win on the road. The NFL is hard to figure out. Colin, I want to ask you about where you go from here and what's your vision of what this offense will eventually be and how do they get to that point?
Well, I mean, we just talked about it for 8 minutes or whatever. They don't get anywhere without the offensive line getting better. You hope that Banner is better when he gets in there. Then he shuffle around some. You hope that Kendrick Green continues to improve. But I don't know. You have to hope you beat the Bengals next week, that's for sure. Because where you are, and I guess if you look at it in total, how about we look at it, guys, globally, like Mike Tomlin likes to say, right? The Steelers are 1-1, and most of us thought they'd be 1-1. They just lost to the team you thought they'd beat and beat the team that you thought that they would lose to. And now you play a divisional game, and in a sense, that's kind of when the season starts. So I think after week 3, after next week, you really have a grasp on what's going on. But I don't want to be Johnny Positive here because that's the last thing I am. But the Steelers are 1-1, and most people thought they'd be 1-1.
I don't know. For me, it's the way in which they went 1-1. I mean, look, they stole that game last week. They stole it. They stole it. The block punt was the entire game for me. Okay, so the way to build on that is by beating the team that's banged up on a short week coming cross country. They couldn't do it. They were in the lead for what, like 3 minutes or whatever after that one touchdown. Look, I really like the drive that Colin pointed out, the one that ended with the Juju touchdown. That was a great Matt Canada drive. They need more of that. It seemed like they are sort of trying to figure out who they are. But globally, look, this is a team that doesn't have a lot of wiggle room. They had a chance to create some today, and they missed it.
And this offense is going to have problems. You think they're having problems now. Wait, they got 2 weeks of tape on them now, and now the opposing team knows what to do here. It's going to just get worse and worse. Then less, and I hate to harp on the offensive line. It's going to be because the offensive line. You're only going to see, 6-man boxes and stuff like that and zone deep, some crazy coverages behind them until they're able to show that they're able to do this. The only other option here is to scrap this all and, go back to some of last year's offense, which actually worked at times. But I think what this offense really, really needs is some tempo. And we saw that when they're scoring drives. In Canada, I mean, they practice that a lot, the tempo. They want to go fast. They can't keep going the same speed. So if they can come out and get some tempo, maybe that helps out a little bit. But I think Banner can help out as well. But unless that happens, that running game's not going anywhere. The quarterback's not going to have time to throw the ball. Those wide receivers are going to be irrelevant. Tight end's going to be irrelevant. So next time they spend $30 million on a guard, don't complain because they make the offense go.
All right, well, I want to ask you about the defense because I all had injuries, but so did the Raiders. However, they got gouged. I think people came away last week thinking that defense would be good enough to keep them in just about every game, and you could justify they were in this game. But Derek Carr, almost 400, San Diego Chargers, Oakland Raiders, whatever. So, Will, almost 400 yards passing here to a team that didn't generate that much, 2.1 yards on the ground. How does that happen?
Well, when T.J. Watt isn't breathing down your neck, it's funny how much damage a quarterback can do. I mean, that's the thing. In the second half, Carr was 16 of 21 for 263 and 2 touchdowns. And I know Melvin Ingram got his first sack in a couple years, but other than that, they didn't really make him sweat like they made him sweat in the first half. And he was under duress in that first half. And then we saw why Ahkello Witherspoon was available via trade. I mean, Ruggs just ran right by him, and Minka that might be the most. I've been here. This is my 11th season. That might be the single most beautiful pass I have seen in 10 years here that Derek Carr threw in that touchdown. Incredible. So I mean, I think it just says the importance of T.J. Watt to that defense and Joe Hayden get well quick because let's be honest. I mean, the guys behind him, they don't have a lot of confidence in him.
Well, 2 things. They're missing Tuitt. They're missing Alualu at that juncture, and they're also missing Watt. I mean, those are 3 guys that put pressure on a quarterback, any opposing quarterback. Also, hey, Mark, are we still comparing Minka Fitzpatrick to Troy Polamalu? Is that still a thing this week? Is that happening anymore? Because I'm not seeing it.
Probably not, right? No, he got beat a couple times pretty badly. But, first half he did pretty well, I thought. He was covering Waller around. I don't know how interested they were in throwing to Waller early in this game. So that could have had something to do with it as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you do moving forward here because they just got so many issues, I think, offensively, defensively. I mean, with with Watt and Bush, they're not going to admit this, guys. They're not going to admit this. But when those four guys are out, Hayden, Bush, Watt, and even Alu, it switches things up, man. They got to be vanilla. They were four-man rushes again all game until it mattered with the Ruggs touchdown. They finally blitzed. They were just basic today, and the guy as good as Derek Carr is going to pick you apart. You don't want to blame it on injuries, but I think that changed the game plan at the last moment.
4 number 1 picks, you're essentially talking about some of those guys. All right, real quick, about a minute left on this segment here. Colin, I want to ask you about a play that got a lot of calls on our post-game show, and that is the penalty on Robert Spillane. You know, I understand safety. I understand what they're trying to do. But come on, Carr was not in that slide yet. What are you supposed to do if you're a defensive player? So do you like the call, or do you think that should have been a non-call?
It's a garbage call. Anytime a quarterback is a runner, he's a runner until he gives himself up via a baseball slide. And at no point in time, look, if he gets an extra half yard or a yard, it counts. Someone playing defense should be permitted to try to inhibit him from making that half yard or yard unless he gives himself up by virtue of that baseball slide, which he never went into. I hate the call. I think it's terrible.
I don't know. I mean, it's not surprising, though. I mean, I think anytime if there's any sort of wiggle room in terms of what happened with the quarterback, regardless, even though I know he's a ball carrier in that situation, to me, I think it was maybe more the location of the hit. To me, it looked like it was close to helmet. And I think anytime you do that in quarter, I don't care what the situation is, they're going to call that.
You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt with the quarterback ever. But I agree with you, Colin. Do you remember maybe 5-6 years ago out in Denver, Peyton Manning did the fake slide that ended up running for 30 more yards?
Right.
I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can't do anything at that point. I mean, I don't know what you want to do. You have to take their word for it that they're going to slide. I mean, I wouldn't have called it, but I wouldn't have seen it. If it's the other way around, he's on Roethlisberger, I wouldn't have called it as well. But they're going to always call it like Will said. They're just going to call that play.
That's a great point you mentioned, because that Manning play was one of those that people debated. And okay, now you're going to allow him to do that, and the defender just pulls up, doesn't want to hit him, and then look what happens. We got to take a break. When we come back, Pitt, or someone tweeted out Payne University when it comes to football. We'll talk about that when we come back. Lost to Western Michigan next.